This tall wooden house on the water is not for people to live in, but for fish. This is a traditional fish raft on the Mekong River in Vietnam. Underneath the wooden house, there are fish cages at depths ranging from 7 to 9 meters. Below the cages are hiding places for many fish and shrimp. When fishing, several fishermen need to dive under the raft simultaneously, working together to pull the nets and catch fish. This method of fishing under the raft is called raft pulling and has been passed down for 3 centuries on the Mekong River in Vietnam. The Mekong River is one of the world's 9 major rivers. In May, when the rainy and dry seasons meet, the waters of the Mekong turn a deep blue. Under the sunlight, the riverside in An Giang Province, Vietnam, looks particularly enchanting. Fisherman Van Quan's boat sails downstream on the Mekong River, heading towards Hong Ngu district in Dong Thap Province, about 20 kilometers away. Today, he and 2 other fishermen will travel for over an hour on a tributary of the Mekong to reach Than Tui village, about 15 kilometers from the Cambodian border, to pull the raft. The boat stops next to the raft, and the 3 men dive under the raft to prepare for the fishing operation. These large floating rafts are actually fish cages on the Mekong River. Many fish farmers build these rafts to raise fish and make a profit, with some owning dozens of rafts. These rafts are usually built in areas with clear, strong currents, far from the shore, to provide enough oxygen for the high-density fish fry. A standard raft is about 8 meters wide and 12 meters long, with a depth of 7 to 9 meters underwater, making it difficult to reach the bottom. The area under the raft, known as the raft line, is an ideal hiding spot for fish and shrimp, as they can feed on the bait that falls from the cages. Experienced fishermen often risk their lives diving into the strong currents under the raft to pull the nets. This dangerous work has given rise to a unique profession, raft fishermen. This is an extremely tough job, requiring divers to carefully place the nets under the wide and deep raft and use long bamboo poles to pull them. Not everyone can do this safely and efficiently. The murky water, strong currents, and cold temperatures in winter all increase the risks. But for the sake of survival, many fishermen have no choice but to dive under the dangerous rafts. This profession has a history of over 300 years and has helped countless fishing families make a living. After fishing, the fishermen usually leave some of the more valuable fish for the raft owners as a token of gratitude. The rest of the catch is sold to cover travel expenses and support their families. Around the 5th lunar month, fish and shrimp resources are more abundant, making it the peak fishing season. Today, Van Quan's fishing team caught about 30 kilograms of fish in 30 minutes, including catfish, carp, and other species. Fish weighing over 3 kilograms are more marketable. Now, Van Quan and his team are heading to their 2nd fishing spot in Hong Ngu district, Dong Thap Province. This area is located on a tributary of the Mekong River in Vietnam, stretching about 250 kilometers from the Cambodian border to the East Sea. After anchoring, Van Quan and his companions choose to start diving in clear water to make net pulling easier. They jump into the water simultaneously, swim to the edge of the raft, and then pull the net down to the bottom. One person returns to the boat to monitor the surface, while the other 2 continue setting the net underwater. A few minutes later, they slowly pull the net up. This time, they caught catfish, bassa fish, giant freshwater prawns, and loaches, with the prawns and loaches fetching the highest prices. Fish prices fluctuate throughout the day, sometimes rising in the evening. Fishermen can work all day and only earn around 400,000 to 500,000 Vietnamese dong, which is barely enough to get by. This is An Giang Province in Vietnam, where fisherman Tom and his family make a living. Today, Tom brought a boat full of fish to Chu Doc City's port. Besides a large catfish weighing 3 to 4 kilograms, he also caught 7 catfish weighing 2 to 3 kilograms each, along with some bassa fish and carp. These were all caught using drag nets under the rafts. Tom lives in An Giang Province and travels over 10 kilometers every day to fish in Hau Giang. An Giang Province has a long history of raft fishing, with thousands of rafts on the river. However, catching large fish from under the rafts in strong currents is challenging. The 5th lunar month is also a busy season in Tianjiang and Hau Giang provinces. Every day, Tom and his companions travel to various fishing villages to catch fish. For over 20 years, Tom has made a living from fishing, enduring many hardships. On a good day, he can catch 10 to 30 kilograms of fish. Although the fish sell well, the income is not substantial. A small boat can earn around 300,000 Vietnamese dong per day. But after deducting costs, the actual income is much lower, far from enough to live a comfortable life. Tom and his friend Doan have been fishing together for decades. Despite the hardships and occasional disappointments when they don't catch enough fish, many fishermen choose this free, albeit poor way of life because they value their freedom. On a riverbank of a Mekong tributary, dense houses and fish rafts create a lively waterside scene. At this moment, Van Quan and his companions are pulling up another net of fresh fish. This is their 5th net pulling operation today. The large catfish they just caught weighs about 5.7 kilograms. Over the years, Van Quan and his team have become skilled net pulling experts, known for once pulling up 100 to 200 kilograms of fish in a single net, a feat that has become legendary. Van Quan has learned a little secret over the years. The farther the raft is from the shore, the more fish and shrimp there are to catch. During the flood season, when water levels rise, they sometimes have to swim through murky water, passing under bridges and across fields, which is much more difficult than in the regular season. At this moment, Van Quan's boat moves under another raft. The depth under this raft is about 8 meters, and the width is also 8 meters. Everyone takes a deep breath and pulls the net down to the bottom of the raft. After setting the net, someone returns to the boat to coordinate with the divers underwater. The fishing nets weigh about 12 kilograms, and each round of net pulling lasts about 3 minutes. Today, they caught some catfish and basa fish, with the larger catfish being particularly valuable, selling for around 300,000 Vietnamese dong per kilogram. Catching 3 to 5 kilograms of these fish can provide a decent income. Now the boat continues through the strong currents of the Mekong River, carrying fresh, high-quality fish to Hong Mu district in Dong Thap province. Today, Van Quan's fishing team has had a successful day, catching many fine fish such as catfish, carp, and small yellowfish. Fish weighing over 200 grams can sell for 300,000 Vietnamese dong per kilogram. On the river, a group of workers is repairing a raft that is 6 meters wide and 12 meters long, with a depth of about 6 meters. The raft is like a tall building, larger than an average house. The raft owner is Long, a fish farmer from Soai village. Such tall rafts are prone to accidents and need major repairs every 7 to 8 years. Every beam and pillar on the raft must be checked and reinforced by workers. Under the raft, the wooden frames require skilled divers to repair. Divers must remember the raft's structure and avoid being swept away by strong currents or entangled in broken nets. They must also watch out for sudden debris in the water. Due to the danger and difficulty, few young people today are willing to take on jobs like raft repair or diving for fish. At this moment, the river is bustling. Workers are repairing the raft, catfish are swimming in the water, and fishermen are busy pulling up nets. From morning to noon, Van Quan's boat's now filled with fish. Today, they caught about 25 to 30 kilograms of catfish, with the largest weighing 4 to 5 kilograms. In the past, they could earn 7 to 8 million Vietnamese dong in a day, but those days are rare now. The boat's engine, almost 40 years old, is working hard, connected to a breathing tube that is the only oxygen supply for the divers. If it fails, the divers could be trapped underwater. Not every net pulling operation yields the expected results. Sometimes the net comes up filled with large branches, which can damage the expensive fishing gear and frustrate the fishermen. At noon, the fishermen take a break. Under the blue sky and white clouds, they sail home with their catch, watching the rafts along the riverbank recede into the distance. Feeling content, they hope the fresh fish in their boat will fetch a good price. Few people truly understand the hardships of raft fishermen. The fresh fish on the table come at the cost of sweat and danger. But these brave fishermen will continue their work, diving under the rafts of the Mekong River day after day, year after year, pulling nets and catching fish, all for the sake of freedom and survival. This is T10. documenting every corner of the real world. Thank you for watching.